The universe is incredibly huge with countless galaxies, stars, and planets. We know that many of these planets have the potential to support life as we know it. Yet we have found nothing. It feels like emptiness. So where are all the other life forms? This video will cover some theories that attempt to answer this question. You're about to learn that researchers think that we could be among the first evolved life forms, born before almost all others. But this situation could soon change. Aliens might not only show up, but they could rapidly become prevalent around us. To explain why we do not see any aliens, we must first analyze how we got here. In 1983, physicist Brandon Carter created a statistical model that theorized that all life has to go through a series of challenging stages on its way to evolving. These stages have become known as hard steps. In the case of life on Earth, it started with lifeless matter transforming into the fundamental components of life. Then these building blocks organized themselves into self-contained cells. These cells then had to learn to work together to form multicellular organisms, and this kept going until complex creatures with advanced brains evolved that were capable of using tools and language. In terms of timeline, life on Earth emerged relatively quickly after the oceans formed. However, it took 2 billion years to progress from single cells to multicellular organisms, and another 2 billion years for us, humans, to appear. However, in comparison, humankind's further development into a spacefaring civilization took place at a relatively rapid pace. Was our evolution typical, or was it an exceptionally swift progression? We don't know. Did we pass the typical amount of hard steps that life needs to overcome to become an advanced civilization? We don't know that either. It could be that the typical number of hard steps required is higher than the number we passed. If this were true, we may have evolved early before any other life forms, and that is why we see no other life forms in the Milky Way. Another reason that backs up the theory that we are early is that we may have hit the perfect time window to evolve. The universe has existed for 13.8 billion years, but the chances of other life emerging before us is unlikely because it was such a hostile environment as it was forming. Early stars frequently exploded, galaxies collided, and supermassive black holes emitted massive amounts of radiation, enough to wipe out any emerging life forms. Our sun formed just after these tumultuous cosmic events. The universe is now more favorable to life than ever before, and it could just be that it is one of the earliest periods that life could have flourished. Another important aspect in our evolution is the lifespan of our planet. This is because, compared to others, Earth is a relatively short-lived planet. This is due to our sun, which will gradually grow into a red giant. In approximately 1 billion years, it will have grown so much that it will evaporate our oceans, and then it will most probably engulf our planet completely. But other stars have way longer lifetimes, in the order of trillions of years. These stars are capable of supporting habitable planets for tens of trillions of years. Life on these planets has an extremely long period to emerge and overcome the hard steps and thrive. Even if we don't know how common life is, this significantly increases the likelihood of technological civilizations emerging on these long-lived planets in the future rather than in the past. So, to summarize, it seems like we could be early. We think this because we may have overcome a relatively small number of hard steps to get here and evolved soon after the early universe calmed down. But there is another reason that can explain our early existence. It is loud aliens, or rather a lack of loud aliens. A loud civilization can be described as loud because of the noise it generates. Noise in this case is detectable signs of existence that can be observed from distant places. You could liken this to humans clearing vast areas of trees from a forest on Earth that could be visible from space. A loud alien civilization would expand their sphere of influence rapidly using advanced technology in a highly detectable way across their galaxy. Perhaps through manipulating or interfering with stars and planets, loud civilizations leave visible signs of their existence. It is theorized that loud civilizations could hinder the existence of other civilizations as they expand in this way. To imagine this, think about how animals are impacted by the spread of Earth's growing cities. Humans do not start out with the intention of taking away the habitat of animals and inhibiting their existence. It just happens as a side effect during our expansion. It is thought that the same could be true for loud aliens as they spread throughout a galaxy. They limit the evolution of lesser evolved life forms, sometimes known as quiet civilizations, as they spread out and expand their influence. Following this logic, if loud civilizations were active in the Milky Way's past, terraforming planets or harnessing the energy of stars, they could have hindered our existence on Earth. If loud aliens had then colonized Earth while we were still simple life forms in the oceans, our evolution into humans might never have happened. So, seeing as we do exist as a civilization now, it is likely that loud aliens have never visited our planet. But they could in the future. If a loud alien civilization were to come to Earth, humankind could be, at worst, intentionally destroyed by them, or, at best, our existence could be unintentionally limited by them. So a key question for the future will be, will humans become loud? We are quiet now, but moving towards becoming loud as we expand and make our presence in the solar system known. We also possess curiosity, a drive for expansion, and a hunger for energy. We have colonized and adapted our world. Our technology has been steadily improving, and more recently, it has progressed at a breathtaking speed. If these tendencies persist and our descendants desire prosperity, they will likely venture into space. They could construct a Dyson swarm to harness boundless energy and convert planets into new habitats. With the ability to travel between stars, we could explore planets around distant suns. With the right motivation and resources, we have the potential to evolve into a loud galactic civilization. It remains to be seen if one loud civilization is enough to dominate the entire galaxy and potentially crowd out other emerging civilizations. But humankind may face a crucial choice in the future. Should we remain quiet, focusing on our planet for as long as possible, or should we begin expanding to claim a portion of the galaxy before someone else does?